In this video, I'm going to be making beefaroni. Beefaroni is very, very simple to make. It is cheap to make. You only need 4 ingredients. You need elbow macaroni. This is a 16-ounce box, but I'm only going to use half of it, just so 8 ounces. I have 2 pounds of ground beef. It was cheaper for me to buy it like this, so I bought 2 packages. And then I have a can of Kroger tomato paste. Whatever brand you get is fine. This is a 6-ounce can of tomato paste. And then this is about half of an onion, and it's chopped. So the first thing that I did was I have my water on the stove for my elbow macaroni. I'm going to pour half of the box in my water, and I'm going to let it boil and cook. And I'm going to open my packages of ground beef right now, and I'm going to cook those in a pan. So I'll show you, once I open these up and get them in the pan, I'll show it to you. I actually weighed my pasta. I used my kitchen scale so that I could get 8 ounces. And it doesn't look like a lot, but it's plenty. Once it hits that water and expands, it's plenty. I'm gonna go ahead and add that in there and let it cook. And then there's my ground beef. We call it hamburger here. I know in the United Kingdom, I think they call it mince. It's the same thing. It's hamburger is what we call it, but it's ground beef. And so I am going to let this brown completely, and then I'll come back and tell you what we're gonna do next. And this is boiling as well. My meat is cooked and my noodles are still cooking, but my meat is cooked. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this down in the sink and I'm gonna drain the grease off, but I wanted to show you, make sure that you put a bowl underneath your colander. Most of you know this, but I'm saying it in case you're new to cooking. Make sure you put a bowl under your colander and drain your hamburger in here. That way the grease does not go down the sink, because it is really, really, really bad to put all that grease down your sink. And leave just a little bit of the grease in here so that you can fry your onions, because that's gonna be our next step, is frying the onions. And so that we don't have to add any vegetable oil or butter or anything like that to the bottom of the pan, just use a little bit of your hamburger grease. I'll show it to you as soon as I've drained it. So as you can see, I left a very, very small amount of grease in there, but I'm going to pour this. Like I said, this is probably, I said a half. I bet you it's only a third now that I'm seeing it outside the bag. This is probably a third of an onion chopped. So I'm going to let these become translucent and cook in this grease, and we'll be back. So this is all the grease that would have been down my sink, and so that's why I put it in a bowl. And I will pour most of that in this empty can and put it in the garbage, or you could put it in a Ziploc baggie. So I have my onions in here, they're cooked. I'm gonna add this straight to that. So now I can add my tomato paste. If you have a larger family, you could make the entire box of macaroni. You could use 2 cans of tomato paste instead of 1. You could buy more hamburger. You know, this will make, just add more stuff if you need more stuff. And if you don't need, if you have just 2 people, you could, like Kevin, with just Kevin and I could have just used probably 1 pound of hamburger, but I wanted to make sure that we had some leftovers, and so that's why I made more. So now I'm going to mix my my tomato paste in. I'm going to turn down my heat for just a minute so that I can check on my macaroni and see if it's ready yet. So turn this down just a little bit. Check on my macaroni. Let's see, what can I use? Use this. Oh yeah, that looks really good. Okay. So you want to just drain the water off this and add it to your pan. And once again, you can pour it in the colander. It's much quicker if you just use the sink. So that's what I'm going to do. I just wanted to make sure it was cooked with this. So Kevin is dumping the remainder of my noodles in there, and you can see 8 ounces was plenty of noodles. And so you want me to stir it? Okay, so you just stir all of this together, and you notice up to this point I have not added any salt or pepper. So that is totally up to you. That is optional. I like salt and pepper in mine. I like the flavor of salt and pepper.
Nature seasoning, that'd be good in there.
Yeah, so so you can add whatever you want. I am going to add some to it, but I didn't want to put it as part of my ingredients because you don't have to have it. But you can see how much this made, and it's a cheap meal, and it goes a long way, and so it's just really delicious. So I'm going to put some on a plate for Kevin and I, and we'll give it a try. So I added salt and pepper to mine because I just like salt and pepper on top, and I didn't add any during the cooking really. And Kevin,
I like nature seasoning.
Kevin added nature seasoning.
Because it's got the onions and the onion powder, garlic powder, and salt and pepper too. So.
Right. But I'll tell you what goes really, really well with this, and it's very cheap, is good old bread and butter. Just simple bread and butter is delicious with this.
Yeah, I mean, if you really want to, you can make rolls or something like that too.
Mm-hmm. But I just like, bread and butter is just simple. Just a slice of bread.
That's good.
You like it?
I haven't had this in ages.
No, we haven't had this in years. The onion's good, and there's plenty of tomato paste. You just need that 1 can for the amount that I use, like I said.
Paste is pretty strong flavor.
Paste is strong, yes. The tomato paste makes it. It would not taste the same if you use like crushed tomatoes or something like that.
No.
You really need the paste to get that tomato flavor.
And like I said, I like the flavor of that onion powder and garlic powder in the nature seasoning. You don't have to do it that way, but that's how I like it. Yeah, this is really good, and it's hearty too.
It's hearty, it's comfort food.
Yeah,
yes.
It's going to fill you up, that's for sure.
Yes, it is. So if you all try it, let me know. Where I got my inspiration for this was from, we would have this once a month at my elementary school. Once a month we would have beefaroni, and I think they would serve a side of, I don't think it was garlic bread. I do think it was bread and butter that they served with it. And it was just delicious. And this tastes just like that beefaroni from elementary school. They used to make some really good lunches at my elementary. So anyway, I will have the recipe to this on my blog too, tammydunn.net. If you're interested, you can go out over there and I'll have some pictures.
Get the thumbs up for me.
And we'll see you next time.